The telecom sector again is one of our key sectors. I think we are heavily invested in it. We have three investments across the continent. A huge one here in South Africa, a huge one in Nigeria, and it's my proudest one. Not that big, but modestly so, in Malawi, right? And it was important for us to do the Malawian one. It is, in and of itself, extremely self-sustaining. It is profitable. It does a great job. But we also want to ensure that there is inclusion, especially when it comes to digital, right? So inclusion really talks to closing that digital divide, ensuring that you know those who are not as well off are not left behind. And it's one of the bad things that was not getting as much attention. And now that COVID happened the way it did, you don't need to convince anybody because we've all seen that unless we, close this digital divide, we can't have our kids who are not from well-off backgrounds be left out of schooling, as an example, purely because I can't log in, the schooling is only being done online, right? We need to ensure that that provision and exposure and growth is done on a basis that is fair and equitable and spread right across. So on the South African side, nothing gives us more pleasure than being involved in CIVH as an investor, and CIVH owns both Dark Fiber Africa and Vumatel. I think Vumatel, there's no need to convince anybody that how we have worked through this pandemic would not have been sustainable in any shape or form had we not had the ability to have fiber to the home. And I'm proud that Vumatel is a leading fiber to the home provider, is part of who we are as Herif, and has worked tirelessly right in the middle of the pandemic to ensure that it continues to roll out, that everybody is provisioned regardless of station in life, as it were. And what is quite good, that gives us even more pride, is that Vumatel itself is particularly at this stage focusing on what they call the REACH project. And in the REACH project, they are putting fiber and bringing fiber closer to the less well-off communities. And in this regard, they are in the likes of Mitchell's Plain, Soweto, Vosloorus. Those are very important. And the beautiful thing with it, people think that when you are of a certain LSM, these things don't matter to you. They matter just as much as somebody who's staying in Bishop's Court or in Sandhurst, wherever that is, right? And that uptake is just as good as what we are seeing in well-off environments. It really just talks to everybody appreciating that these things are not a nice to have. They're a need, and we're happy that we are firing all of that. On the business side, really, DFA is doing incredibly well. I think we forget that even with a simple phone call that you make, a lot of what DFA has done and continue to do is fibering up the base stations for the networks so that you can have an enriched user experience when you are either on that WhatsApp call, a video call, or you are en route and you are taking your Zoom call, whatever that is. They are pretty much providing the backbone that makes sure that we continue to be productive as best we can. Obviously, they are focusing on the enterprise side of life and at a wholesale level also. So yeah, we are extremely proud of that. In Nigeria, with Main One, which is what we are also invested in, I can't tell you enough about how big an impact that has also played. And you look at the prices there, the prices of data, as it were, since we got involved as Main One in that economy. They are chalk and cheese. Granted that the trickle-down effect doesn't always, come to me and you as quickly as it should, but there is no doubt that accessibility has been fast-tracked. What that business also does well is do data centers, ensuring that content remains as it should, quite frankly, close to source as possible, because that improves not only the user experience, but when we start thinking about security, those are important things. So yeah, I mean, we are proud that our ICT, our involvement is part of the solutions to what the continent's problems are.